It is so absolutely beautiful out. And it's hard to believe all the shit's going on in the world, you know. My mom tested positive. I warned you guys. I warned you ahead of time. I think the only reason she wound up, a few weeks ago having that episode was her fear got the better of her. I warned you guys. I knew that I was in like virtually no danger, okay? Even if I got it, I'm so fucking healthy, it's not funny. Do you know I did 5+ miles power walking last night without breaking a sweat and pretty much non-stop? The only time I stopped was streetlights. There weren't that many, okay? I did it non-stop. And again, that's from years and years of walking, okay? I don't drive. I haven't driven a car since I got out of college, so. And there were a lot of reasons for that. I worked at that, Friendly's that first year after I got in college. My mom and her third husband got me the car. So I drove every day to that Friendly's like a year. Then the car died. And then I was putting tons of money into it. And then it was like, fuck this shit, okay? And then, I couldn't afford to get a car. But then I was with Joe for 6 years and he had a car. And I had no reason to get a car. You know what I mean? And then I wound up moving to California and Donald didn't drive, so. You get what I'm saying? And then I reached a point where I didn't want to. I just didn't want to. And how I look at it, there's tons of people that would love to be able to drive. It's simply don't have a car, tons and tons, however many, so many, so who cares if I don't drive? I don't want to drive. I see what a jungle it is out there when I follow all traffic signals, okay? As in, a lot of times, even when there's no cars, I will still, I'll still wait for the thing to turn to walk, because that's the safest thing to do. That doesn't mean I never jaywalk. You get away with jaywalking here in Massachusetts. I learned that when I was in that shelter, when people would make fun of me for waiting, okay, or for doing whatever, for wanting to cross the cross lane. But in California, you get tickets for jaywalking. See? And I lived in California how many years? And I got tickets before for jaywalking. So, were they viewed as jaywalking? I actually fought it and won, and the reason I won is because it was not, I fought it on principle alone because it was bullshit. I told you, those cops around there in Culver City, they have nothing better to do, okay? And it was bullshit. I'm told I'm jaywalking when the light never, it stayed on the orange guy, but the light, it went a full cycle, and it just was staying that way, but there was no, I forget what it was. Whatever it was, I didn't do anything wrong. They were just, had nothing better to do, okay? And I fought it, and I won because the cop didn't show up. But when I got caught drinking a Steel Reserve beer behind Rite Aid, I didn't, I was caught red-handed. I didn't fight that, so. And then I had to do, in lieu of paying a ticket, since I had no money, I did community service. And yes, Donald and I were dirt poor, okay? He was on disability, I was home. When I was first with him, when I got caught with Stairs or Bear, I was on welfare for the first time in my life, but even before that, we were poor, so we drank Steel Reserve beers. So they give you the biggest bang for your buck, That's for damn sure. I think they have them here. I stopped drinking beer. I just drink vodka. So yeah, my mom's headed for another nursing facility, which actually, interestingly enough, church woman had already written to me, texted me that I should, because I told her, they give me she shouldn't be coming home here when she's in the neck and back brace. Okay? That was ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and the instructions they gave me were ridiculous. I couldn't even figure them out. It said something about tilting the bed. We can't tilt the bed. And she's not, regardless of, but we have to find a place that'll take her when she's tested positive. So I'm like, are there places going to take her? And she's like, well, there are some. Whatever. It's not in my control. It's not in my hands. I warned you guys ahead of time that this could happen to my mom. I don't want it to happen to her. It sucks. I'm sure she's fucking terrified. There's nothing that I can do. It's in God's hands. If there's a God, it's in God's hands, so it's not in mine. But I was like, okay, I want her out of there. But then I'm like, I didn't realize she's supposed to be tilted, and I have to take the neck brace and back brace off and on, but she just stays in it. She can't shower. Why doesn't she just, I don't know. I just know it was too much for one person, okay? I would have had to have somebody explain shit to me, but she wasn't in any condition to come home anyway. There was something wrong. And there definitely was something wrong, and the doctor I talked to yesterday said, good thing that you called emergency. Of course I called emergency. She wasn't acting right. I knew I wasn't going to wait. I'm not stupid. I knew something was wrong, and I knew that I can't, if she's in this condition, she couldn't even move, couldn't even function. I can't take care of her in that condition. It's one person. She wasn't acting right. And it turned out to be way more serious than we thought. And I already told you, I know, and again, I'm not making this up, it's not fake news or whatever, that even the mains, that they've admitted, they don't want it to go out on the news or whatever, but it makes, I suspected that could happen way before. Before they were even saying, if all this stuff's coming from China, then don't tell me that they can't fuck with it. They can. They can fuck with the tests. They can fuck with the masks, They do 2 tests. I don't know why. I don't know why they do 2. I don't know much of anything anymore because it's whatever. I haven't got to talk to her. I've tried to reach her a few times every day. I'm sure she's terrified. And, I believe 100% that fear lowers, that's why even my alternative people that I get, like, I get Jonathan something, and Danette May, and Jeff Hayes. Danette May is more like nutritious and stuff, but anyway, they're all saying, don't give in to fear. Fear is going to lower your immune system. It's going to fuck with it big time. So they tested my mom because she had fever, and that's a sign of it. So I don't know why they test twice, but they do. And I was told she tested negative the first one, and then when I was talking to the doctor yesterday, she's like, well, we tested it. She said she tested negative, but we do another test. No one will tell me why. No one. Nobody will tell me why. Oh, that's just the guidelines. Okay. Well, my out-of-state friend asked why. But in any case, now I'm being told that on her records that it's down as positive twice. Meanwhile, I know damn well I can't record calls, but I should. You know? I should. I have a recorder. I should start saying, you know what? I got misinformation before. I'm going to record you if that's okay. Because I know what I was told yesterday by that doctor, and I know her name, and I wrote everything down, and she said my mom tested negative, and now this social worker today, we have it down as 2 positives. I'm like, I know that she tested negative yesterday. I know what I was told. I wrote it all down. I took notes. And plus, if she had tested positive, I would have run around and told Joe, told my friends, you know? So it's bullshit. You know, and there are false positives. There are false positives to everything. There are mammogram false positives. Sometimes people are told they have cancer and they don't have it, you know? And that colon thing that my mom never did, I never did mine either, and now, you know, that's obsolete. I don't know when we're going to be able to do anything like that or go to the dentist. I was in the store the other day, and it wasn't a grocery store, but it was a store, and the cashier, you know, felt like talking, and oh, because I started the conversation, because I bought a toothbrush, and I was like, yeah, I didn't get to go to the dentist and get my usual toothbrush, and then this person started talking about, yeah, I had to, about tests or whatever, and then it segued into my mom didn't get to do her tests that she was supposed to do, and I didn't get to go to the dentist, and then we had that Cologuard thing, never did, she never did, you know. I also, with everything that happened, never signed up for the fuel assistance, and I doubt that they postponed that, but it's worth looking into. You know, I lost the paperwork, and then I was going to do it. I had plenty of time, but then this all happened, and it, you know, kind of just took over, huh? Yeah, I was proud of myself last night. I didn't even stop, barely. I told you I changed my MP3 player so there's not as many songs on it, so I don't have to keep trying to find a song as often, you know. It's not, I don't have to stop for as long because it's not as difficult if I'm searching through all songs that I don't want to hear, okay? Because remember, there are songs on my MP3 player, like Jonathan Davis, What It Is and Basic Needs. I love both those songs. But those songs aren't going to get me, you know, pumped up like Green Day's, yeah, Father of All, you know, those kind of songs. Take your pick, or Left, Right, and Wrong, and all that. 3 Days Grace. You know what I mean? So I might like the slower songs or even love them a lot, but I'm not going to listen to them. So it's easy enough to remove them from my MP3 player. It's very, very easy. And then just, you know, I can put them back on some other time. But for now, I just want fast songs on my MP3 player to get me moving. And I did my 5+ miles without even barely stopping at all. Anyway, here in Massachusetts, it is so beautiful out that you just can forget the bad, you know. Again, I ache for my mom, and I know her. She's going to be told she tested positive, and it's going to be, you know, not good, because she's going to let her fear get the better of her. I knew the second this all happened that it could end badly for her. I knew. I told you guys. The minute she was out of my hands and in a hospital, it was bad news for her. She does have going for her though, you know, even if she gets symptoms or whatever, more symptoms. I understand them testing her. She had a fever, so I just don't understand why they do 2 tests, but whatever. Again, out of my hands. Oh, some of you remember, I don't know where they are, but I know I can look in old videos or something, because I did videos. I had taller shoes, black ones, because I wore them to court that time. I'm like, what happened to my taller shoes? I'm like, those weren't the ones I got from JCPenney not that long ago. Those were ones that I had years ago. I don't even know where I got them. Maybe Macy's? I don't know what happened to them. They got to be somewhere, right? I bet you they got mixed up in all this stuff, which means I'll never find them. But I remember, I'm like, didn't I have taller shoes? Those black ones? But they're not from Macy's. So I have all my Macy's shoes. I mean, my JCPenney shoes. That I've never worn outside this house. I got them super, super cheap. And then I thought that I could just return them if I didn't want them. But it was more expensive to return them. I thought there was a JCPenney near me, but there isn't, so. And by near me, I don't even mean down the street. I mean that I could get to by public transportation. Technically, I probably could, but it's not worth it. And it's not worth mailing them back because they were really, really cheap. They were super. They were all on final, like they were on clearance, but it was major clearance. So you figure all those shoes I got, I didn't want to return all of them, and the ones that I did want to return, it would cost me more to mail them back than what I paid for them. So I figured I'd keep them, even just to wear in videos, you know, even just to wear in videos. Now, I have some requests. I think Jay was the one who wants me to stomp on shit. Which, I don't drink soda, but I do have stuff that I was supposed to give to recycling, you know. Now there's no recycling, I don't think, either. In any case, I'm in no mood to recycle. Check this off. Let's see. Fed Omar. Okay, we need to feed Omar. I just took my collagen and my MCT. Check those off. Omar got his drops. And okay, so we gotta feed Omar again. You want proof that these people are overworked? I'll give you fucking proof these people are overworked, okay? I'm going to give you solid proof these people in the hospital are beyond overworked. I get a call from my mom's social worker, right? She's talking to me. She called on my home phone that I answered. I know now to answer it because they're calling. It's on the healthcare proxy, so they're calling it, okay? I get a call from my mom's home phone. I get a call on my home phone. This is so-and-so, this is your mom's social worker. Hey, how you doing? I haven't been able to reach my mom. I've been trying. And she goes, well, yeah, I tried this number because I called you on your cell. And I left a message. I'm like, oh, my phone didn't ring. You know where I'm going with this, right? I go, my phone didn't ring. And she's like, well, I'm like, well, maybe I didn't hear it. Okay. So blah, 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 blah. I have to find nursing homes, you know. I think last time, a few weeks ago, they didn't give me the option. They chose them. You know, like, I don't want to go back in the same one. She's like, well, you can look for yourself. Oh, good. But that will mean they'll take her. They might not take her because she's tested positive. They might not take her because she's on psych meds. Anyhow, after we hang up, I go and listen to my phone. Not only is there not a voicemail, okay, but there's nothing in the queue that says this woman called me. Nothing. I swear to God, people, nothing. So I need the doctor to call me, so I have to make sure she has the right number. I call her back. I say, can you tell? I don't have any voicemail from you, and it does show in your queue that you called. Remember, she insisted she called and left a message for me. And she gave me the phone number, and I'm like, well, that's my correct phone number, but you didn't call me. So apparently this social worker fantasized that she called me to an extent where she's going to insist she called me, and she didn't. Okay? Reality is reality. There's no voicemail, and there's nothing in the queue saying I got a call from the hospital. There's nothing. But in her mind, she called me, and she's not going to deny it, and she's not going to admit it. She's like, I know I called you. Whatever. 2 + 2 = 5, right? I know you didn't, but I just dropped it. And the only reason I called back to confront her was not to prove I'm right, but because she needs to give that phone number to the doctor, and she's insisting she called me, and she didn't call me. Can you imagine? She thinks she called me and she didn't. But she gives me the phone number. You think I'm going to argue with her? It's not worth it. I had to just make sure she's like, well, she's not going to admit it, but whatever. I know she didn't call me, but I had to confront her about it to make sure the doctor calls the right number, okay? And hours ago this morning, before I went back to bed, the nurse was supposed to call me. No one's calling me. Nobody. Nobody's calling me. So I've never had that happen before, where someone insists they called me and there's no voicemail and no showing in my queue, you called me. You didn't. I'm sorry, you didn't call me. But is it worth arguing? No. I had to, like I said, I didn't call back saying, you didn't call. No. I'm like, I know you said you called me, but there's no voicemail and there's no, but while we were talking, I said, okay, I need to call you back when I get nursing homes to give you. She's like, I gave you the number. I said, no, you didn't. I said, she had said, well, it's on the voicemail that I left for you, and it turns out it wasn't. But I had her give me, I said, I wrote this all down, Jane. You didn't give me your phone number. So they were all frazzled. And that's proof. So I knew the moment my mom had to be a part of this whole hospital nursing home thing, she was screwed, okay? And it's in God's hands. It sure as fuck is not in mine.